Dave Birkett here, along with Reiner Sabin, Detroit Free Press and Freep.com. And Reiner, the 2025 NFL season is upon us. The Detroit Lions open against the Green Bay Packers. And I don't know about you, but I don't sense there's quite as much buzz about the Lions this year as there has been in the past, at least not nationally. People are talking about the Green Bay Packers and Micah Parsons, and Baltimore Ravens are a favorite out in the AFC. What do you make of maybe the lack of buzz about the Lions right now?
I think it was attributed to how they crashed out of the playoffs last year. I mean, given all the high expectations then, and so I think nationally people have moved on, and also I think there's some skepticism tied to the fact that they lost to their two coordinators who became head coaches, and so people are kind of overlooking them from that standpoint too. But yeah, I think it's kind of strange again, given the personnel and the continuity that they have from offense and defensive standpoints.
I think they have a really good roster. I think they have one of the best rosters in the NFL. They will be there at the end of the day, fighting for some sort of supremacy in the NFC. You mentioned the coordinators. Look, they have new coordinators on both sides of the ball. 10 new assistants overall, I believe it is. New interior offensive line. One of the toughest schedules in the NFL. Maybe it's one of those things. Maybe it's something else. What is your biggest concern about the Lions heading into the season?
I would say the interior offensive line. I mean, again, that's kind of been the foundation of this team. I mean, it's the offensive line, the running game. It kind of sets everything up for the entire team. So, yeah, there's some skepticism, I think, about how they're going to do in that sector of the offensive line. Also, I mean, Jared Goff is susceptible to pressure up the middle, and they're facing teams with very good interior defensive tackles. So, I think that that's probably my biggest concern. Plus the schedule. I mean, of course, it's a very challenging schedule.
I love the schedule. I mean, it is difficult. There's some great games. It's going to be fun to watch some of those games this year. We're in lockstep. I think the offensive line. Look, they've got two first-year starters at the two guard spots, right? Rookie Tate Ratledge at right guard, second-year guy Christian Mahogany at left guard. I think both of those guys individually are good players and will be, even better players down the road. But that unit is about cohesion, new center, so it might take a minute. There might be some growing pains there, especially when you tie in, the new coaches. All right, if that's our biggest concern, what's your biggest reason for optimism? What's the biggest reason you think the Lions could be a Super Bowl team this year?
I think, again, the balance between the offense and the defense this year, I think it was heavily weighted, obviously, towards the offense, given all the injuries that they suffered last year. If they can maintain their health, I mean, that unit looks pretty strong, and, I really like the secondary. I like the linebackers. And I even like the defensive front. I mean, once Aleem McNeil kind of gets back into the mix, I mean, that's a pretty strong defense across the board from a personnel standpoint.
I think the Lions had a really good defense last year. People tend to forget that because they had so many injuries and because of the way the season ended. But early in the year, when Aiden Hutchinson was healthy, when Aleem McNeil was healthy, when before Alex Anzalone went down, they were playing pretty good ball. The offensive skill talent, if I'm answering that question, somebody had asked me something similar on the radio the other day, and I just think the Lions' offensive skill talent is as good as anyone's in the league. When you talk about Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, you can go on and on. To our first point, that line needs to be good. It needs to stay healthy in order to protect Jared Goff so he has time to spread the ball around. But he's got enough playmakers that this team can put up some points in a hurry. All right, I know we both had to make our Super Bowl predictions for the season. Why don't you share yours and reason why, and I'll end it with mine.
Well, I'm going with the Bills over the Eagles. I just think the schedule is going to put the Lions in a position where they have to play more games, obviously in the playoffs, a lower seed, so the road just becomes tougher, and I think over time it's going to have a deleterious effect on the team overall. But, I mean, again, I think the Bills are kind of primed. I mean, they've been knocking on the door. I think, this is the year Josh Allen and company get it done there.
Triple word score for that, by the way. How far do you have the Lions going?
I've got the Lions going to the NFC Championship game.
Winning the North?
Winning the North,
okay,
yes.
Look,
yep.
I think the Lions are winning the North. I think they're going to the Super Bowl this year, all right? Maybe I'm off my rocker here a little bit, and I think the Packers are a really good team. I thought that before the Micah Parsons trade. Really young roster last year. Jordan Love was hurt to start the year. I do see him taking a little bit of a step forward. I like the Micah Parsons deal for them. But I think the Lions, I think they have the best roster, one of the best rosters, maybe with the Eagles, but I think it's the best roster in the NFC. They're going to have some growing pains early with the new coordinators, with the offensive line. Maybe there are some roadblocks that they run into, but I think the way that schedule sets up late, they can win some games, get hot at the end. I have them losing to the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl, though. I know that would be painful for Lions fans, especially as close as they came the last couple years. Losing in San Francisco, NFC Championship game, winning 15, and then seeing that thing fall apart like it did last year. But Ravens, Lions is my Super Bowl. You've got Eagles and Bills
and Bills winning it.
Bills winning it all. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, this thing kicks off here, and we'll follow this as we go along. Lions have a really difficult schedule, as you said, but a lot of good games. That'll do it from us out here in Allen Park. Reiner Sabin, Dave Birkett, Freep.com.